What's up? So, wanted to make a extended video to the Biatch Life semi-response joke video that I made to BGS Ibmore's video, and excuse me, the dynamic that we saw in that video was just crazy. But it's so normal that we saw it as kids, like generation what are we, millennials growing up. We saw this stuff as kids all the time, like where we were being called, oh, your daddy's this, your daddy's broke, your daddy's not there, the usual stuff that we always saw. So when I saw it, it's so normalized that when I saw it, I kind of just laughed. I was like, the kid said, what? I call that dude's daddy a bitch. But that's so normalized that it's not something where, like, I don't even find it really disgusting or whatever. It's just kind of like, oh, okay, like, the kid didn't, like, my mom would have got after me for saying some stuff like that. I would have never even approached my mom about that. The kid, and then you could also see the kid trying to do damage control beforehand, which was another crazy thing. The fact that the mom is in there in the middle of the day instead of out there with well, I can't really say that because I have my nephew, and it's not like you're gonna be out there with the kids all the time. Like, yo, listen, y'all go play, I'm gonna go be in here. So I can't even cap with that. The fact that she's in there just making a TikTok, and it's just like, bro, TikTok is a child's platform. I mean, the stuff I see on TikTok, all I see on TikTok is like big bank challenge videos where these chicks are showing off their assets, what they got in the bakery and such. I'm trying to like move out of the damn sun, man. So it's like when I saw that, when I saw the video, I was just like, this seems par for the course. Anyways, going on to what this video is kind of really about. MGTOW retirement, just seasoning it, like, just using that as the entree, the appetizer, and then really getting onto the main course here. It's about MGTOW retirement, right? This is what sadly our kids are growing up in. That our kids are being raised around, where this type of stuff is not just normalized by other kids, but now you're seeing where the source of where it's coming from, and that's sad. And I think this is probably one of the better times, of course, to go into things like, okay, why is it good to actually have savings? Why is it good to do investments into your HSA? Why is it good to do investments into your 401k? These pre-tax deductions where, yeah, it's taking money out of your pocket, but you're being taxed on less, which is great. So things like that. And ultimately, as you saw in my previous video, just uploaded a real quick video on it, and it's just kind of it's a mini flex, right? But it's like, okay, if I would be considered a bitch as a husband that stays home and works, right? Because the kid doesn't know. The guy could actually be working at night. The kid doesn't know that, but the kid sees stuff. But the kid recognizes a pattern which is actually, like, the pattern recognition software is written by the mother in this case. And because, you can tell it's written by the mother because the mother was, like, surprised, but then the mother was just like, oh, shit, I gotta go deal with something that I caused, right? Like, you see that type of, like, head stroke there. And you see it, and it's just like, okay, well, do you even know the circumstances of the father and what he's going through, what he's doing? Like, he could actually have a high-paying job. So in my case, I did just get a new position for a company, for another company, doing some email engineering. So that's going to be kind of cool, getting into that automation and dealing with message flows and ensuring that messages get to where they're supposed to. With all that being said, I make six figures off of one job, which is great. So pretty much all that I made last year, I'm gonna make that all for one job as opposed to like two and a business and all this other stuff. So that's moving fairly well. But now we're looking at things like, okay, I'm the father that works at home, but is a father working at home or being home a bad thing, right? So in the context of this video, the father is seen as a bitch because he's at home all the time. Maybe he's a stay-at-home dad, and that gets into things that BGS talks about all the time, which are talking about. BGS talks about, the switch, the gender role switch, how women are now becoming the providers, but they don't know how to handle it, and men are becoming, and they also don't know how to they don't know how to handle women themselves becoming the providers, and they don't know how to handle the men not being the providers any longer. So that's kind of weird to them, right? That's a culture shock, if you will. And not so much in the black community, but these are the things that we as men have to deal with on a regular basis, and this is where I talk about mindset all the time. My mindset videos are very repetitive. You could say repetition is the mother of skill, but when it comes to mindset, having that check on a regular basis, and I do those checks for myself, and it's not just for putting those videos out and just having content, but it's looking at different aspects and dealing with other different problems. So now look at this father; he has to come to this situation possibly, or even the mother, or mother and father probably have to come to the situation where the father's getting called a bitch, but he could be at home making six figures, you don't know. Or he could be at home on agreement where, hey, listen, you're working, my wife is working hard, or maybe the wife, he helped put the wife to school, like I could paint the father in a good light in so many different ways. Of course the kid doesn't know. It's not totally the kid's fault. The kid knows the difference between right and wrong, and before he got caught, he knew what he had to, or she had to do, which was I couldn't tell because it's a child's voice. The child knew what they had to do to kind of do some damage control so they can not get a hard beating, if at all. You know what I mean? So it's crazy that we have to, we as men have to get it from so many different angles, man. I want to say it's crazy in terms of the mental stress that it puts on us, and what we have to show as our worth, our value, who we are, and are we worth it to even keep around? Put this phone on the charger. Are we worth it to even keep around? Are we worth? Do we even have? Why do we even think like that? That we have to be of some value. We can't just be. We can't just exist. We can't just chill the fuck out. And this goes into again, all that done goes into MGTOW retirement, right? So what are you doing to make sure that you can work from home? I don't want to do anything else but work from home. You tell me to go into an office, I'll be like, listen, I understand that. I'll be there for a couple of weeks until I find another job. Bye. Thank you. I'm not doing that anymore because of the time freedom that has been given back to me. I was just outside for the past couple hours writing up a document so that I can actually writing up a document so that I can be a contractor for my current day job, and see how that's going to work out. And just getting some more work for myself and other streams of income. Also just enjoying the view, chilling, thinking, and then also getting some work done too, right? Because it's the Wi-Fi is here. It reaches out into the yard a little bit to where I can actually sit right outside this window and do my work and enjoy the view and enjoy the fruits of my labor, that type of stuff. But it's so important that we have an environment that allows us to that helps us facilitate growth, right? Or that facilitates growth. And we have to talk about things like HSA, and I'm gonna do a better video about that. I'm just kind of glossing over into this one. That's why I keep on mentioning it, but not going into it. But talking about your healthcare, your health savings plan, and how you can actually meet the minimums, and then also go forth and put more money into it so that you can reach the minimum, and then invest the excess, and then still pay all of your medical expenses out of pocket, so that you can actually use that HSA as a retirement plan of some sort. It's important that we look at these different things, HSAs, 401ks, and then, okay, cool, those are your pre-tax retirement accounts, or pre-tax deduction retirement accounts. Now we have to look at our post-tax investments, right? that'll be things like, your Coinbase account where you're investing in cryptocurrencies. And Shiba Inu just went up the other day. I had 99 million of those coins, and now I'm down to 36 after selling the midpoint of the top. And I'm tracking how well it's doing even after my sale. And how much money I probably would have made another, if I waited a little bit later in the day, I would have made another $1,000 or so. So I'm okay with that, because the $3,500 that I was able to take off the table in profits, now that position's gotten a little bit higher again. But now that 3,500, I can go ahead and put that into Ethereum, which is speculated to go to 10K by the end of this year, and another 20K by 2025. So when I'm looking at all these different things, while I'm working from home, having that time freedom, I can do all these things and think differently, think better, and be in a more calm environment. And it's really sad that we as men will be considered or be called a bitch by external forces that are looking at us as if we're less than or doing less than. And that's kind of sad, because what's being said about, like, now that fathers possibly self-conscious of like what's being said about me in my own neighborhood around me, like like how am I being looked at, and then now I have to deal with the fact, now I have to deal with that that thought in my mind, and how does that affect my mental health, and that's kind of a sad thing, right? So if you're working from home, focus on what you're trying to do, focus on the important things, focus on your investments, focus on your retirement, focus on the things that are coming to you in the future and what you're trying to achieve. Like right now, what I'm looking to do is pay off a lot of my debt, trade in my vehicle, and then also and get a new Silverado, a custom built Silverado 2500 pickup truck, and long bed, all this other stuff, very beautiful. And I want to use it as a work truck around the home, so that I can move some things around and start hauling some stuff as well, and then even get a steel metal building so that I can actually start my lawn care business. Something has happened. A person has come into my life, in terms of like somebody I met, a gentleman I met in the parking lot, just talking with him and just chopping it up with him. Found out he's from where I was from, down in like Miami, Fort Lauderdale area. And now he lives in Georgia, has a wife and a kid, and wife and kids up here, previously married. And like just talking with him and his whole dynamic, and talking with and seeing how ambitious he is, and saying, whoa, okay, this guy is not just about his business, but he's like, he really wants to quote unquote do better. He's looking at his life right now, and he's like, listen, I want to get a house. I got something rented, right? He came over, we talked here in Fern Gully. And we just talked about home ownership, and I started like saying, hey, listen, you can get the area that I live in is rural, right? The entire like damn county is considered rural or agricultural, and you can get you could be on the USDA loan program because of the lack of opportunities, so you have a lower median income. So most times you're able to qualify for the USDA loan program. You're going to have to pay PMI for the life of the loan. You really can't refinance out of it, I believe. And it's kind of harder to qualify. It takes a little bit longer. But if this guy sticks with it, he can actually get on that program, get a house for little or no money down with the USDA loan program, especially if you qualify for that level of the program. And he can actually become a homeowner. What's PMI for life if you're at a steady mortgage rate? Like, that's okay. Especially if you can get the loan fixed and there's no like adjustable rates or anything else like that. So, it's a beautiful thing when you're talking with people and you're also talking with other men. I've been in contact with quite a few men about some of the strides that I've been making lately, ever since that video where I put myself in somewhat isolation, getting out of certain groups and things like that, and getting off of dating apps. And I'm seeing where I've changed what I'm doing, and I'm getting the results that I want, but I'm still not there where I want to be. So it's crazy, all the things. This video is a mishmash. I'll call this the biatch life extended, but it's kind of crazy, all the things that we as men have to deal with from so many different angles. that we just get bombarded with this type of stuff. And if you don't have a strong mindset, a strong mental, and a very vivid and clear vision, then you're easily swayed, and also easily swayed, distracted, and knocked off course. So with that being said, hey guys, man, take your time. What have you done today to grow? Think of ways that you can always improve yourself or improve over one thing. Treat your life as an array of objects, of experiences, and iterate over them. And trying to make changes, refactor your code, be adaptable. Be able to take in new code styles, if you will. If I was put into a coding terms. But with that being said, love to you guys all, and I wish you all the best. And make sure you guys go out there, do your research, and look up some of the things that I'm saying, and challenge me on it, if anything. Come on, I need the engagement. All right, peace.